Hello YouTube, this is Kurt and welcome to the Kurt Winters YouTube channel, dedicated to bringing you advice on collecting cars and celebrating the history of these amazing machines. This channel is focused on helping you with your car or restoration project.
Glad to have you with us. Sports car. It's a term that means a vehicle that puts the thrills and pleasures of driving ahead of everything else. Now, for some, a sports car can have only 2 seats. For others, a sports car must be a convertible. But there are those that think it's okay if a sports car has 4-wheel drive. Still, it's exhilaration behind the wheel that makes a sports car a sports car. And this week, we're going to review the core of the sports car market, all designs where high performance is king.
So I was watching a classic episode of MotorWeek and they pitted the 300ZX against the Chevrolet C4 Corvette. And I thought, I have a 300ZX, I have a Chevrolet Corvette, so let's go ahead and compare and contrast and see just exactly what you got for a sports car in the mid-90s. So stick around.
The first Japanese car we ever thought came close to Porsche performance was the turbocharged version of the Nissan 300ZX. 4-year-old styling of Nissan's latest Z car has worn well. A non-turbo convertible and 2+2 hardtop are available, while the turbocharged car sports glass T-tops. The straightforward wraparound cockpit has been copied by many others. While a driver's airbag is included, door-mounted seatbelts remain. Gauges are round, clear, and include turbo boost. But you really don't need it, since when the twin turbos start to deliver their maximum 300 horsepower and 283 pound-feet of torque, this 3-liter V6 stands up and sings. 300ZX Turbo smokes its way to 60 in 5.6 seconds. Nissan put wider tires and wheels at the rear to make sure all that power got to the pavement. Transitions and corners are rapid thanks to Nissan's high-cast 4-wheel steering. Properly handled, this 3,500-pound machine flies through corners like a featherweight. Driver-adjustable shocks help make the 300ZX Turbo a pleasant road car as well. You'll need $30,555 for the non-turbo Z car, $37,655 for the turbo model. Our car came to $38,730 with leather trim. There is a split personality to the Nissan 300ZX Turbo. It performs with the best, yet can also coddle its customers.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and kick it off with the 1993 300ZX convertible. One thing about this car is the styling and the looks of the car, they just don't seem to date. The curved lines, the contemporary interior, it just doesn't look like a car from 1993. Whereas opposed, if you pick out some other 90s cars, it's very obvious what era they came from. But you can see the designers spent a lot of time in the development of this car, and it really shows, especially with the build quality on the inside. The paint on the outside, I mean, that's so-so. But this was a car where the designers really took their time and made sure that they came up with a beautiful Fair Lady Z. Okay, so kind of the second point that I really wanted to bring up about the Z is, even though the convertible is approaching 3,600 pounds, we know she's a very heavy girl. She does not handle like a 3,600 pound car. So what do I mean by that? If you've ever had a hatchback or a lightweight economy car and you're kind of whipping through traffic, that's what I mean. The steering turn-in and the steering ratio, is just amazing. The car gives you just the right amount of feedback that you need and it is very, very easy to move in and out of traffic. And this is something that not all sports cars had the ability to do. Some you can't really whip in and out of traffic in the way that you want. But with this one, you definitely can. And I want to give it a thumbs up on the handling of this car. Okay, so kind of rounding out the third point that I wanted to make about the Z32 is just the rarity of the car compared to the C4. They made C4s for a very, very long time, 84 through 96, I believe, whereas the Z32 really only had a run from about 1989 to 1996, and in 96 they were very limited production numbers. So if you're comparing the Vette with the Z is, in my opinion, definitely going to appreciate and value. Like I said, you don't see quite as many of them on the road, and I got to give it thumbs up as far as rarity and collectability.
America's premier sports car, the Chevrolet Corvette, is celebrating its 40th anniversary. The Corvette LT1 we drew for testing sported the standard suspension. While a convertible is offered, our coupe comes close with a single-piece removable top. Other standard features include a driver's airbag, traction control, and a 6-speed manual transmission connected to this lovely 300 horsepower LT1 small block V8. 0 to 60 times are rapid 5.3 seconds. At Roebling Road, we found the stock suspension rolls more than the optional adjustable chassis and feels looser in fast corners. However, it's a fair trade-off for a highway ride that won't tire you on the longest trip. The 93 Corvette is much more refined than when this fourth-generation design arrived 10 years ago. Prices have risen 50% over that decade, with a base of $34,595 and our car costing $37,838. Still, if you're looking for one of the fastest, best-handling cars in the world, love its made-in-America heritage and its near-timeless fiberglass styling, the Chevrolet Corvette is your winner.
All right, so let's go ahead and move over to the Vette and talk about some of the three major points that make it one incredible automobile. The first thing I wanted to highlight was the engine. This car, which is a 94, has a LT1 small block Chevy 350, which just Google that engine and you can see the legend and the mystique of its reliability, both in off-road and on-road applications. So what do I mean by this? They made so many Corvettes with 350s that a lot more 350s have actually survived the life of the car as opposed to the exterior. So these engines are impeccable, and I definitely want to give this car a thumbs up for its engine reliability and overall ease of maintenance. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to kind of talk about was the ride quality of the Chevrolet C4 Corvette, which really kind of shocked me. Now, don't get me wrong, the Z is very docile. It handles bumps well. It has 16s. It's got big old fat tires on it. So it really does handle bumps well. But what I was surprised was the C4 Corvette actually rides more like a Cadillac, now let's use that term lightly, than I really expected. I have a Mitsubishi 3000 GT with 18s and low profile tires, and I was just surprised at how rough the car rode in comparison to the Corvette. So if you're looking for a car where you're taking your lady out, or you're going down some roads that maybe are not in the best condition, the Corvette will definitely accommodate bad roads. And with those big old thick tires on there and 17-inch rims, I promise you, you will have one hell of a smooth ride. Okay, so kind of rounding out the third point about the C4 that I really do like is right now, unfortunately, these cars are not being appreciated. And what I mean by that is their prices are in the toilet. And this car, you can see, which has the complete black interior. It is an auto, which will diminish the price. But really, you're looking at a baseline price for these cars of right around $10,000, and they kind of go up from there for special editions, manuals, and collector cars. Now, as I stated in a previous video, I was able to actually get this car for less than $9,000, which I thought was a steal. Now, I did have to dump some money into it to get some of the oil leaks and some of the niggles worked out. But I got to tell you what, if you want a C4, or I should say, if you want a V8 rear-wheel drive car in general, take your time, find a good C4, and if you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment on this YouTube page or email me, and we will find you the right C4. But right now, the prices on these cars are excellent. The prices on the Zs are good too, but one thing that you have to understand is there's nothing more expensive than a cheap Nissan 300ZX. So what I mean by that is, if you find a cheap girl, I hope you have deep pockets, because compared to the C4, the complexity of the engines and the overall layout of the platform is much, much different. I want to thank everyone for watching today. It's a nice, cool, chilly Texas day, but I thought it would be a good day to get out and make a video with these cars. Please leave a comment below if you've had a Z or a Vet, or just your opinion in general. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep making more great content on these types of cars. I want to thank you for watching, and I appreciate the privilege of your time, and I'll see you in the next video.